year, the Interregional Meeting of Bishops of Southern Africa, IMBISA, is celebrating its Golden Jubilee, marking 50 years of unity and faith across 9 Southern African nations. Under the theme, A Synodal Journey, Nourished by Compassion and Blossoming in Faith as Pilgrims of Hope. The celebrations will take place in Eswatini from September 24 to 29. Bishop José Luís Ponce de León of Manzini Diocese talks to us about this historic milestone. Let's talk about IMBISA. I've been doing quite a number of traveling and meeting different people throughout Africa, and I've picked up that not so many people know about IMBISA. What is IMBISA, or who is IMBISA? Let's talk about that history in a nutshell.
I think there are 2 different dimensions to it. IMBISA is born out of the need of the bishops to come together. We're talking about 1975. The bishops felt the need of coming together to support each other, to share experiences, to reflect together. It was a time of great changes in Southern Africa, with liberation movements, the situation of apartheid in South Africa, which I think also played a part, considering that IMBISA was born in Pretoria, but the first office was in Manzini, maybe to be out of the limits being put by the South African system at that time. But IMBISA remains a body of the bishops on one side, as bishops coming together. We come together every 3 years as bishops of the region, these 9 countries in Southern Africa. But at the same time, we are all IMBISA. Every bishop is a shepherd of a local church, and therefore he's not talking just about himself. He's talking about the people he serves, the reality in which he serves. And that is why one would say, okay, yes, it sounds very nice, but practically, 3 years ago when we were in Namibia for our gathering, each country brought a number of young people. So IMBISA moves at those 2 levels, at the level of the bishops coming together, but also at the level of the local church reflecting and journeying together.
Now this year, as you just said, we're celebrating the Jubilee of IMBISA, and it will take place in Manzini Diocese. As you've mentioned in your response, of course, Manzini Diocese did play a significant role right at the beginning, at the establishment of IMBISA. Take us through the preparations for the Jubilee, who will be participating, and how meaningful is this Jubilee for the Church in Southern Africa?
Well, I think I start by the end. I think to be able to celebrate a Golden Jubilee, being alive, fully alive. This is not a Jubilee just remembering the past. It could happen. No, we are fully alive as IMBISA. Really the last few years especially, but I think that the whole history of IMBISA has been very, very important, adapting constantly to the different changes, which is not only the changes of political situations or context in which we work, it's a change of bishops. Bishops retire, new bishops are appointed. In fact, in the last couple of years, if I'm not wrong, there was this gathering of new bishops. Also, how to support them at the beginning of their service. And at the same time that we thank for everything that has happened in the last 50 years, we celebrate this Golden Jubilee in the context of our synodal journey as a church. And that will be the theme that is going to mark our meeting, and make sure that the synodal journey, you were part of these 2 synod moments in Rome, that we bring them down to our region and our different dioceses. It's a huge event when you consider that is the ones organizing everything is a country with 1 diocese. So I remember, I think it was 2010 when we had this event here in South Africa, There were 26 dioceses hosting and organizing. Here is basically us, and I foresee about 120 people attending the event, out of which only 2 or 3 are from Eswatini, which means a nurse that is going to be 24/7 available, my vicar general, who know in Italian, can help also with languages for those who don't speak English, and myself. The rest are all people coming from, excluding Eswatini, another maybe 10 different countries, because Cardinal Lambongo is coming from the DRC, Cardinal Czerny and his team is coming from the Holy See. So we expect about 70 bishops, between cardinals, archbishops and bishops, about 30 priests and 20 lay people to be in Eswatini. Of course, it includes a number of partner organizations. This always happens. So Catholic Relief Services, Aid to the Church in Need, Missio, others that always are with us in this special moment.
I must say, it's quite interesting that this celebration is taking place in the Jubilee Year of Hope as well. And to think that it's coming to Southern Africa, because in IMBISA there are 9 member countries. And when I speak of Southern Africa, I'm talking about the 3 countries, South Africa, Botswana, and Eswatini, which make up the SACBC. So it's quite interesting to see that the celebration is coming to this part of the regional aspect of IMBISA. So talk to us just a little bit in a nutshell, the role that the SACBC has played within IMBISA over these past years, and what is your vision for IMBISA following this Golden Jubilee?
Well, the SACBC always had a very, well, every country and every conference is present in the standing committee. I think that's always very important to remember. And for example, among the bishops of the SACBC, today's Archbishop Nubuasa was president from Gaborone now. At that time he was in Francistown also. He was president of IMBISA for 2 terms. I am there as we elect. We are going to do it on Saturday at our event. When we come together every 3 years, we have elections, and so we elect for a president, a vice president, secretary general. And a few years ago, I think it's going to be now 6 years ago, I was gathering in Maputo, we decided to also elect a bishop to deal with media. But aside of that, every conference has to have a representative in the standing committee. And so the SACBC has been really part of IMBISA at different levels. One is in the standing committee, because myself, I'm there for media. Bishop Banka is also representing us. But a number of events are held here in South Africa for practical reasons. So South Africa is a kind of hosting nation for all the trainings that are being done. A number of times has been also for meetings of the standing committee. And we won't hide that also your role has been very, very important as media officer for the SACBC. You have always had a very strong space and role sharing everything that IMBISA has been doing. So through you, IMBISA shared news not only in this region, but also in the continent, because you are in touch also with media at continental level, and through you also with the media coming from the Vatican. So we hear these articles being published, these podcasts, these spaces, and all this is IMBISA. All this is IMBISA. We cannot separate them. We cannot say for this person is IMBISA, for the other things is not. No, it's the life of the church working together. The future, I think the future goes through the synodal journey. I always share that in my experience, I shared this with Pope Francis a couple of years ago during Ad Limina. I think in my diocese we are much more used to events that are held for a year. We open and close Jubilee of Hope, when we had the Jubilee of Mercy. we knew when to start, we knew when to finish. The synodal journey is different, and that requires a change of mentality. And my diocese, for example, is in that process. Maybe other dioceses are in the same situation. So we need to support each other and journey together as bishops to see how to bring down the synodal journey to our contexts.
Bishop José, thank you so much for your time, and it's good to hear that we are emphasizing the synodal journey, and it's something that is also part of the points or the pillars that SACM highlighted in their new document released just a couple of days ago at the end of their 20th plenary assembly. So it's good to know that the church in the IMBISA region is also aligned with what SACM sees as a way forward for the next 20-25 years or so. So
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for your time. Any last remarks?
Pray for us, because certainly we have very good people working towards the preparation of this event, but clearly everything comes from God. So we have to entrust daily to God, so that this is not just a nice moment, but really a blessing for our region and for the whole church.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.